everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I'm back for another I Saw It in Somerset Studio Magazine. This is May, June, July 2025. Volume 29, Issue 2. So today what we're going to play with is what's on the cover, actually. And these are not my favorite kind of things for journals, but they do make awesome framed gifts. So I am going to do an actual tag and everything. The reason I don't like them for journals is because of the dried flowers. Because if they're in and out of a pocket and all that, they're just going to crumble and fall to nothing. So, but I do love these. I loved these from when I very first saw them. So I thought, well, I think I'll make some and then I'll probably give them as gifts. You could also, I mean, look at all the different kinds. You could also, what was I going to say? I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh, not do tags. You could just do, you know, like a rectangle shape and do the same thing and then, frame it or something, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the tags just so we can play. This one is by Amy Willcut and it's on page 46. So let's get started. And as always, I like to preface it with, mine aren't going to look like the original artists did, because obviously I'm not going to have the exact same things that she has. I have my own style. And so, yeah, they're just, you know, they're going to look a little different, but that's totally fine. I'm just going to put this under these while I throw some gesso on them, because if you noticed, hers were white, and so I like that look. So I'm going to do the same thing to mine. So how is everybody? I hope you guys are doing awesome. Oh, I forgot to grab something. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm back. Had to grab some fabric scraps and I needed my little card to scrape the paint on. Thought I had everything, but I'm telling you, it just never fails. There's always something I forget. So I'm just going to use a card. I'm not going to do it quite as perfect. She totally got it like edge to edge, but I want it a little more, I don't know, not as perfect. So how is everybody? I hope you guys are doing awesome. I'm doing good. It's a nice day here, a little windy, so I don't know what is with the wind. So if you do this a little thinner too, like this scraping method, then it dries faster. That was words, you know. And while I'm doing this exciting thing, I'm going to say hugs and blessings to Sherry, Wealtha, Gigi's Art, and Beverly. Thank you guys so much for your kind comments. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I really appreciate all of you so much. Yeah. I always make such a mess. And then I will pause, get these dry, and I'll come back. And I know, like, I probably should have just done these ahead, but it's like, well, I mean, a lot of people want to see the whole thing, which I get, because if you want to know how to make them, then, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to do the whole thing, so I am. So I am. We'll just do this. And this is 3.5 inches wide by 6 long. So 3.5 by 6 is what I did mine. But you can make them whatever size works best for you. And there wasn't any particular reason. I just liked that size. I felt like I could fit, you know, some stuff on there and it wouldn't be all crowded and all that. So that's why I did it like that. But you can make them smaller if you want, larger. I just think they would make really fun gifts. All right, so I'll get these dry and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I have those dry now. So I'm going to ink around them, and I'm using Vintage Photo ink. I think they'll look good like that. And I have the little hole protectors too I'm going to put on. And I did not gesso those. I may gesso them after, but I don't feel like that's that imperative. I'm going to use some seam binding for to put through the holes. So you're not going to see a whole lot of those hole protectors on mine. So I'm not that worried about it. But if you're going to use string, you know, you might want a little gesso on those. Totally up to you. I did ink them. They are inked with the Vintage Photo. I am going to put glue on here. Well, I usually do anyway, but especially with the gesso underneath, because sometimes it's just rough enough that these don't want to hang on. So they're not, as you all know, if you ever used them in your binders growing up, they don't stick great. So there's that. But I do like the look of them. And I don't know what, you can see I got some my dried flowers out. I'm running out. I didn't realize. I thought I had a lot more color options. So we're just gonna figure something out. But I do have some nice ledger. This was gifted to me. Thank you, thank you. And we can put that on there, because I do like the hand script behind. I think that looks pretty cool. So we'll go about here, I think, because I'll tear some off the bottom too. I'm just going to do one at a time, I think. And then tear this a little more organically. I think that would be a little more interesting. So what kind of projects you guys got going on? And I guess I don't really need to tear that other side because it came out of the book. Oh, I don't need the whole shebang either, but that's okay because I'm always using these little bits for stuff. What's on this side? Does that look better? More interesting? Needs a little ink. I mean, these are very simple. There's not a lot of layers or anything, but you could make them a lot more layered if that's what you wanted to do. This just wants to curl. So I think I'll put that in there. Some glue. Don't even have many stories to tell. Pretty boring around here at the minute, which is fine. I like things to be calm and quiet. It's my favorite. I might use, just because I am the way I am, one of my stamps on here too, just because I like it. And I know this isn't how she did hers, but these are mine, so. Okay. That's good. And then there was like a little piece of fabric that she put under where first I'm going to learn my lesson, hopefully. Do a little dabbing on this black ink. little piece of fabric. This is really ratty. It's been coffee dyed, so it gets all wrinkled up. Plus, I just have all these little scraps stuffed in a bin, so I'll use that longer one. Kind of goes layered. See, the hard part here is I have these short pieces and not a lot of long pieces. Okay, glue gun, you're dripping on everything now. How I got that off, I don't know, so congrats to me, right? This one might look good. Something like that. And then I have already made my wax melts because all I have is the ones that you light and drip, and it just takes forever, and it's literally like watching, you know, wax melt. And I was getting annoyed enough, so I didn't think you guys needed to hang out while I did that. But and you can see I'm not that great at it, but hers, she's got some that were like kind of wonky like that too, so I'm not gonna worry. I'm gonna glue this down because it's just gonna wrinkle and look ridiculous. It's not cooperating. And I think she used her wax pieces to kind of hold her dried flowers, but since mine are kind of short, I'm probably going to glue them too. So yeah, you might want to find some longer ones. Like if you get them out of your yard, you can be a little more picky. I had to order these. I don't have a lot of this type of floral things happening in my yard, so I could actually use a broken one or a wonky one. Okay, I'm going to use some glue. And I do wish my stems were longer, but they're not, so we're just going to go with it. I like these little tiny rose buds. Sorry, that was concentration. Rose, pause, blink, buds. Oh, you stick. You little stinker. You know, if I didn't want them to stick, they would stick. Isn't that always the way? Pretty sure. Pretty sure it is. So I'm going to use hot glue to hold this down. That's just not going to, it's not going to do it. So we're going to put the hot glue on those two bits. And that'll also melt the wax a little bit. And it will be just fine. Yeah, this is not something I would want to use in and out of a journal pocket at all. Because I just feel like that would end up being destroyed. But it looks cool. I mean, I definitely love the look of it. I just don't, I wouldn't want that. Do I want something like this on there? No. Nope, I don't. I might want a number. Because my stems are short, I think it needs something else, and I do like that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm using my glue stick, which is Scotch Create Permanent. Make sure it's permanent, because they do have a repositionable or something like that. And that's not what I would use. But yeah, just make sure you get the permanent, and it works very well. I've never had an issue with anything coming off. And I'll probably stitch around this, so it'll get grabbed a little right there by that too. All right, so that's that one. And I'm going to use seam binding, like I said, to go in the hole. You can use, you know, whatever you want. And later I might crinkle this. I just sort of, this was sort of I had time to do a video, so I went ahead and jumped on here, so I didn't get my seam binding crinkled, but you could get it crinkled up. You just get it wet, crinkle it really good, squeeze it, all the wetness out, and then just set it like on a paper towel and let it dry all crinkled up, and that gives you a more crinkled look. But I do like the way that one's kind of wonky. You can always pull a few threads. So there's one. And then we'll do our other ones somehow. Move over, Rover. Again, we're tearing off the top, but it'll get used somewhere in a collage or something. Old phone books make great glue pages. The pages are nice and thin. I think I'm going to stamp again because I like that look. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't want to overdo it. It just needs a little something else, in my opinion. I want some of the pink ones. I kind of like these and this orange one, which is surprising because I'm not an orange fan. It's not my favorite color. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I have this, and I like this because it's all ratty. It's like from Sari Silk, and there's just all the threads. This is all attached, so I just like the look of that. Even though some of it will get covered. I think I like it better this way, for whatever reason. That hot glue gun is smelly. Smells like, you know, when you very first turn your heater on in the winter and it burns off all the dust. It probably is dust because I really don't use a hot glue gun at all in most, you know, most anything. So every once in a while my husband uses it, but I used to use it all the time. You just don't really need it with paper generally. I mean, yeah, there's things like, you know, these already done wax melts that need it. That just doesn't want to stick. It wants to stick to my finger, which, you know, makes loads of sense, but it won't stick to the paper. I got tweezers out and I haven't used them at all. Because I'd rather have it stick to my fingers, silly. Very quiet today. Much concentration gluing these little bitty fragile thingies. These make me nervous. I'm afraid they're just going to break. I do like them. They're very pretty. Now what color? Maybe green? I think I like the green, actually. This is my favorite green one. Isn't that cool? That one turned out pretty good. I could use that one. Sure, why not? What else I would use it for? They're kind of bulky. I like how Nancy Piter does the wine foil. And Mitzi just was using cigar foil, but I think that's an excellent idea. I don't drink wine, so like no wine foil for you. But anyway, yeah. That works very well because you can get them nice and flat when you squash them. Okay, and now we can put a tie on that one. And I'm just going to use the same tie for all of them because that's what I got out. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you could laminate it after, or, you know, all those kind of things, which is very true. You could do that. I just don't like that plasticky look. I like the natural look of the way that they are. So I don't know. I just don't want to cover them with something like that. I mean, it's a great idea. It definitely would work, but I just don't like that look. That's why I don't use a whole lot of dried flowers, even though I love that. I like it a lot. So there's another one. And we'll do one more. Maybe we'll do pink flowers this time. So I could do yellow, but I think I'll use the pink. The pinky. Let's do, we don't need all that. There's nothing on it. Let's just rough up this side because I kind of like the patina on there. I'm not even going to ink that other side. a little askew. Okay, and I'm going to stamp again, but I think this time I'm going to use this thing, which I should probably take and wash in the sink, but I'm afraid it'll just disintegrate entirely because it's just falling apart. It's just a piece of plastic that my husband printed on our 3D printer for, it like came off of something else. So I don't even know, but anyway, I like it because it does that. But it does get all the ink and junk stuck to it. Not attractive. So I think I will use tweezers for this. Sorry. Thought I was pulling something apart. Like these. I'm not very good with tweezers. It's because I never use them. I do like these bigger flowers. They don't have any stem. But I think I can sticking. Oh, come on now. I think we can fake it. Fake it till we make it, right? Turn it this way. Oh, that's why I think it goes anyway. Kind of just layer that like that. The only problem is that hanging off the side isn't great. Do we need this one? We're going to do something like that. And I think that will work. I've also got this one. Looks a little bit like, not baby's breath really, but kind of. Something like that maybe. Okay. Now, I'll have to order some more of these. I think my son is texting me. He gonna have to wait a minute. I think it needs to be here because I think that other one needs to be right here. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the wax. like that. Will work, I hope. Okay. And then what color of these do we want? Oh, I forgot my piece of fabric. Well, it's okay. We can add a piece still. I don't know that I want any of those. Maybe a piece of lace. Where did I put my lace? This isn't lace, but this will work. That would work. It's on top instead of under, but you know, when your brain forgets to work, that's just how it goes sometimes. I'm gonna ink this a tiny bit. It's way too square over here. Wonder if I can. I just don't want it over the top of those leaves. So I think I'm going to do like that. It's called cheating. But it got us our end result. This is so bugging me how wonky this is. It would probably be a good idea to, I think I like that one better. Words. Oh, make your tags and then maybe set them under something overnight so that the curling thing isn't happening to you while you're trying to do this, but you know, videos and all. I'm not pushing hard on this. I'm just kind of bending it so that it'll stick in that glue. And I still want a piece of lace. Right there. Is that the front? It's really hard to tell on these. No, I think that was right. And again, that'll probably get grabbed when I go around it with this sewing machine at some point. So sticky. We need our tie. Oh, paint. I'm like, how did I get that much glue on my thumb? It's gesso. Dried gesso. Okay, there's that one done. So let's do quick. Got the reds, got the oranges, and we got the pink. All right, so mine are quite different than hers, but I think she probably, it looks like she, I do have some lavender. I'll have to do lavender. Like, takes that out of her yard. They look more like ones that you would get maybe in your yard. I don't have any of that. But you can see there's like a piece of fabric, the wax. These ones are a lot different. I like the winding around of string or something, or the fabric wound around. So very fun. I just think that they would be fantastic gifts framed in a small little frame. They would look pretty, like in a powder room or whatever, a bedroom, something like that. So I hope you guys liked that. I hope you give it a try, and we will chat again soon. Love ya. Bye.